I was 12 years old, almost 13. Dickie Bailey was having a party, and I was invited. I was excited because this was not just a party, it was a swim party. And it was not just a swim party, it was a dance. And it was not just a dance, she was invited. The one that I had worshipped from afar for lo, these many years, ever since I was a child. I'd never been to a dance before, so my mom prompted me. So she suggested that I just slow dance, and she showed me how to do it. You hold your hand like this, and the girl puts her little hand in yours, and you put your hand on the small of her back, and she puts her hand on your shoulder, and then you just very gently rock back and forth. My mom said, you don't even have to move your feet much, just rock back and forth, and she will be enchanted. Well, the night of the party approached. I lived about a mile away from Dickie Bailey. I didn't want my mom and dad to drive me because, after all, that would be embarrassing. So I walked. Consequently, I got there a little late. The party was already underway. I stood on the edges. There was a fast dance happening. I think it was a Beatles song. And then a slow song started up. If I remember correctly, it was a song by the group Bread. And I looked across the way, and there she was, Susie McClatchy. I very carefully worked my way around the edge of the pool. And over on the corner of the pool, right by the cabana, there she stood. I walked up to her and I said in my most sophisticated, mature, 13-year-old voice, Susie, would you like to dance? And I waited with bated breath for just a moment, and Susie said, yes. I never actually spoken to Susie McClatchy, you need to understand, so this was a big step. And Susie McClatchy put her little hand in mine, and I put my hand on the small of her back, and she was very short, Susie, and she put her hand on my shoulder. And we started dancing. And it was exactly the way I had envisioned it would be. It was wonderful, it was enchanting, it was romantic. And then Susie looked up at me with her big blue eyes, and she said what I knew was going to be some romantic statement. Something like, I've been waiting for you to ask me to dance forever. Or maybe something like, let's go ahead and get married now. Something like that. And Susie McClatchy looked up at me and she said, ooh, you have bony shoulders. Ah! I was crushed. I finished the dance without saying a word, and then I went over and stood in the potted plants by the cabana. And I watched the rest of the evening from the potted plants. I went home a little bit early. I never danced with Susie McClatchy again that night. In fact, I never danced with Susie McClatchy again, period. In fact, I never spoke to Susie McClatchy again, period. Through my entire life. Susie and I went to the same high school. Susie got taller and much better looking and very popular. And I had no contact with her whatsoever through high school because why should I? I was firmly convinced in my head Susie McClatchy absolutely hated my guts. I mean, she told me to my face, I have bony shoulders. Why would she want to have anything to do with me? Several years out of high school, I bumped into an old high school friend, and we were kicking around old times, and the guy says to me, hey, who'd you take to the senior prom? I didn't go to the senior prom. You didn't go to the senior prom? No, I didn't go to the senior prom. You didn't go to the, I didn't go to the senior prom, all right? Whoa, really? Well, I thought you went with Susie McClatchy. Why didn't you take Susie McClatchy? Why would I take Susie McClatchy to the senior prom? She hated my guts. You thought she hated your guts? What? No. You didn't know? Man, your whole spring semester of the senior year, she was waiting for you to ask her out. She really liked you. Ah! Stupid Kurt. I could have been dating Susie McClatchy my entire high school career. I could possibly be married to her now. Who knows? Maybe I would be Bill Gates or somebody now. But I didn't know. Susie McClatchy wanted to dance with me. She really liked me. If only I would have known. Why do I tell you this story to start the evening? I don't know. Maybe I'll bump into Susie someday on an airplane. I travel a lot. I sit on a lot of airplanes. I get in lots of conversations with people on airplanes. They quite often will ask you, something like, "So what do you do?" And I've got a variety of answers depending on my mood. But usually, eventually, I'll tell them the truth, and I say, "Well, I'm actually I'm an actor," and they stop and they're really impressed, and they look and they say, "You're an actor?" Yeah, like an actor. Yeah, like movies and TV, like that. Well, yeah. So whoa, what have you been on? Baywatch. Hey, that's not funny, man. I could be on Baywatch. They need old guys like me on Baywatch to drown. And but I say, well, actually, no. I do live theater, and they say, "Whoa, live theater? No kidding. About what?" And I say, well, actually, about God. And then it gets real quiet on the airplane, because they don't quite know what to do with that. Actor, God, for most people, those things don't really fit together real well. And I wind up sometimes getting into some interesting conversations with people on airplanes about God. Because, they figure I'm safe, I'm not a preacher, I'm an actor, there's nothing scary about actors, unless you're like Jack Nicholson or something. But you know what I discover on airplanes when I get in conversations with people about God? I discover probably the same sorts of things that you folks discover when you get in conversations with people about God, and that is this. Everybody has some sort of opinion about God. I mean, if I just say the word right now in this room, God, everybody's going to have some sort of mental image in your brain, rattling around in your brain, about what God really is like. And the fact of the matter is, everybody's picture of God will pretty much determine how you wind up living your lives. And so if our images of God are accurate, oh, that's dandy. But if our images of God are a little bit off, that can lead to some weirdness in life. And all of us, it seems like from time to time, have some pictures of God sort of rattling around inside of us that might tend to be just a little bit off. Well, what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to give you some of those pictures of God that we all have from time to time, pictures that are a little bit off. Misconceptions, weird ideas that we all have about what God is really like. And I'm going to do this in caricature form. I'm going to give you these misconceptions of God in caricature form. I'm going to actually impersonate God. Some of you students thought only your parents could do that, but I will give it my best shot. So I'll give you 6 of these common misconceptions that we often have about God, and then I will follow these up with what hopefully will be a good, accurate, biblical picture of what God is really like. Now, I'm an actor, folks, so don't hesitate to laugh or clap. I like that.